Fulton versus Roman. I'm Brian Custer. I'm the host of Showtime Championship Boxing. And on June 4th, Showtime Championship Boxing continues its summer tour of high-stakes, meaningful world title fights. And we roll into the fighting city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the historic Armory. You might remember we were just there at the end of March where Tim Tszyu took on and beat Terrell Gausha. Well, we're coming back. And this time we're bringing the unified champion with us, Stephen Fulton Jr., Cool Boy Steph, the WBO, the WBC unified champion, puts his belts on the line against the former unified champ and Danny Roman, the baby face assassin. It will be the main event. You'll also see on that card another great fight between two really heavy-handed fighters. You've got the unbeaten David Morrell, who obviously from Cuba, but since he's come stateside, has made Minneapolis his hometown. He will take on the once beaten Kalvin Henderson. By the way, Henderson, if you look at his three of his last four fights, he's won by stoppages, including all that he fought in 2021. So that will be the first fight of the night that you'll see from the Armory there on June 4th. By the way, these fights are being promoted by TGB Promotions and Warriors Boxing. Also, the Fulton versus Roman main event is being promoted in association with Thompson Boxing. For those of you interested in being in the Armory, an historic venue where so many great fighters have fought, I'm talking legends have fought there, from Sugar Ray Robinson, and you can name the countless others. Tickets can be purchased right there at the Armory, or you can get them at armorymn.com. Again, armorymn.com, and you can also purchase your tickets through Ticketmaster. So again, the main event, you have Fulton taking on Roman, and then we'll begin the night with Morrell taking on Henderson. It should be a great night of boxing there in Minneapolis on Showtime Championship Boxing. Now, I'm going to talk to all four of the fighters here. We're going to start with the two fighters that you're going to see at the beginning of the night. And for members of the media, we're going to allow you to ask your questions to these fighters. All you have to do is hit the raise your hand icon there on the Zoom. We'll acknowledge you, and you can ask the fighters your questions. So with that, let's begin with the first fight of the night. And you'll see David Morrell. He's unbeaten, 6-0. 5 of his wins have come by knockout. He's based out of Minneapolis. Now that he has come stateside from Cuba, that was in 2019, and he's got a challenge in front of him because he is taking on Kalvin Henderson, 15-1-1. He's got 11 knockouts. And as I said earlier, he's won 3 of his last 4 fights, and all 3 of his fights in 2021 were by stoppages. So this is going to be a slugfest between these guys. Let's start with David Morrell. And David, if you could give members of the media just your thoughts on facing Kalvin Henderson and doing it in your hometown now, your adopted hometown of Minneapolis. And I know Martin Bader is here to do the translation.
Thank you, Custer. David, bueno, contanos tus sensaciones previas a enfrentar a un rival del calibre de Henderson y además el poder hacerlo una vez más en lo que se ha convertido en tu ciudad adoptiva de Minneapolis, donde la gente te quiere un montonazo.
No, like, hey man, thank you everybody. Like, first time, much respect for Henderson, much respect for like everybody. Va a ser mi tercera pelea en el Armory, ya representando, gracias a Dios, por todo ha sido por la vida del knockout. Y nada, simplemente prepararme para el boxeador que es Kevin Henderson, porque es un boxeador bastante, ¿sabes? Que se merece el respeto de todos los boxeadores que peleen con él.
Kalvin Henderson is a quality opponent. He deserves the respect of anybody that's in front of him, including me. And I look forward to fighting against him. Having said that, I love fighting in Minneapolis because I fought there 3 times and I've won there all 3 times by knockout. So I look forward to seeing everybody there on June 4th.
Voy a salir, ¿sabes? Voy a salir a trabajar, a hacer lo que, perdón, lo que siempre he hecho. Hacer ese mi trabajo, hacer lo que le gusta a mi público y, ya sabes, a darme otra victoria más para la bolsa.
I'm going to come out there, do my job, give fans a show, the show that they deserve, and then get another win for my record.
Fantastic. Cal, well, listen, you heard him. He says he loves fighting there in Minneapolis, his adopted hometown, and he wants to give his fans a knockout. What do you think about going in Morrell's backyard and, of course, fighting him and those fans?
Yeah, man, same here. We got mutual respect for Morrell. We know that he has a strong amateur background. We know he has skills. We know that he ain't no slouch. But all the pressure is on him. You know what I mean? We going to his adopted hometown. He's undefeated. I have 1 loss. So that whole pressure of going in there tennis, trying to remain undefeated is off my back. I'm going out there, put on a good show, using my skill sets, and put my hands on him, man.
Yeah, love it. David, obviously, it's going to be a great opportunity for people to see you on Showtime. Talk to me about, being on this kind of platform as well as being there in Minneapolis.
Bueno, el estar por Showtime es una gran plataforma, además de poder estar frente a gente en Minneapolis, frente a una audiencia nacional que en una de las cadenas más populares del país. ¿Qué significa para vos el tener esta oportunidad de demostrar tu valía frente a una audiencia muy grande?
Es mi oportunidad de mostrarle al mundo entero de lo que soy capaz de hacer, de lo que puedo hacer sobre el ring y de todas las cosas que en realidad tiene Devin Morrell Jr., ¿me entiendes? Y es una de las, bueno, es la plataforma más grande que hay para uno poderse dar a conocer, ¿no? Y es lo que voy a hacer, menos que todo porque es mi oportunidad y estoy, voy por todo.
I'm going for it all. This is the biggest possible platform that you can have to show the world what you're capable of. And I plan to take full advantage of it. What I want to do is go out there, take advantage of that platform, and then prove my worth to everybody in Minneapolis and around the world.
Cal, same question to you. Just the opportunity of fighting on Showtime, this platform, getting the opportunity to see your skills and fighting a guy who obviously is confident, but says he wants to stop you in this fight.
Yeah, man, it don't get no bigger than this. You know what I mean? Fighting on Showtime, co-main event for a world title. This is the thing people dreams about when they first started boxing. So to have this opportunity, we're going to take full advantage of it also too. And as you know, when you have a game opponent, it's going to bring out the best in you. So expect to see the best Morrell, the best Henderson come June 4th. It's going to be fireworks. June 10th. Stay tuned.
David, do you believe the winner of this fight is ready for, let's say, the David Benavidez, the Caleb Plants of the 168-pound division?
¿Sentís, David, que aquel que gane la pelea entre vos y Henderson estaría listo para subir al nivel de un Benavidez, de un Plant en la división de las 168 libras?
No, 100%, of course. Like, yo digo que es la oportunidad de subir a la grandes ligas. Tanto Henderson como yo, like, los dos tenemos las cualidades suficientes para poder pelear con cualquiera de sus boxeadores. Y pienso que sí, pienso que sea la oportunidad de subir a otro nivel y dar a demostrar de verdad quién es el mejor de las 168 libras.
This is absolutely the chance for both Henderson and I to prove that we can get the call up to the majors in a way, to where we can prove that we can be among the elite and face, like you said, the caliber of opponents of a Benavidez or Plant or anybody that might come our way to try to be atop the division.
And Cal, I guess the same question to you. Do you believe the winner of this fight is ready for the Caleb Plants, the David Benavidez, who we'll just see on Showtime in the next 2 weeks?
No, definitely. I agree with Morrell. It's it's a way to show your work, you know what I mean? And we also know that winning fights ain't good enough. It's how you win and how you look good winning that put you into that different perspective of different big leagues. And so, yeah, I definitely agree, yeah.
Well, listen, I know there are a number of people from the media who want to talk to you guys and get questions. Members of the media, all you have to do is hit the raise your hand icon here on the Zoom. We will acknowledge you and you can ask your question to the fighters. Flo Joku from Showtime Sports, she will acknowledge you, members of the media, and then you can unmute yourself and ask your question. So let me turn it over to Flo.
Hi, everyone. So the first question is from Keith Idek from Boxing Scene. Keith?
Thank you, Flo. My first question is for Kalvin. Kalvin, how much of a step up do you feel that this is for you in this fight?
On paper, it may look like a big step up, but really, man, the people we've been sparring, people we've been fighting the amateurs, it's not much different. You know what I mean? We don't fight international competition, the amateurs also. We don't be ranked number 4 in the country as the amateurs too. And so it just now a platform being to prove that to you guys. Like what we already know already, what we see in the gym every day, and we got to show y'all.
Kalvin, what do you think went wrong for you in your fight against Isaiah Steen? And what?
Yeah, so in the third round, I actually suffered an injury in the third round. He had a really good game plan during that fight. It was executing that game plan during that fight. And then something that you can't account for was just injury that happened during that fight. But we made the best of it. We didn't quit. We ain't no punks. We got heart from Texas. You know, I texted people for what to do. And so we finished the fight all 10 rounds with that injury. And we didn't make no excuses. You know what I mean? All we did get back to the drawing board and work our way back to this position.
Kalvin, what was the injury you suffered in the third round?
Come again?
What was the injury that you suffered in the third round?
It was a torn muscle.
In your arm or something, or?
Correct, yeah.
Was it something that bothered you going into the fight, or it happened during the fight?
No, it happened during the fight.
Okay, thanks, Kalvin. Also, a couple questions for David. David, what do you think of Kalvin? What have you seen from him? How does he maybe compare to some of the opponents that you have fought this far?
David, ¿qué opinas de Kalvin y cómo se compara él a los oponentes que has tenido hasta ahora?
Yo la verdad, primero que todo, ¿sabes? Respeto a todos mis oponentes. Yo nunca mido a uno con otro, ¿me entiendes? Para mí todos son buenos, me preparo para todos igual. No tengo ninguna diferencia con uno con otro. Simplemente admito la calidad boxística que tiene Kevin.
I always prepare for each opponent the same way. I will never dare overlook anybody that I face, and I don't think that the preparation should differ that much from one fight to another. Having said that, I do respect Kalvin, and I think that he has earned the respect that he's given as the caliber of fighter that he is. He's another level and another challenge.
And David, I know obviously at some point you would like to fight Canelo Alvarez for the 168-pound titles. What did you think of his loss on Saturday night, and were you surprised by it?
Bueno, él sabe que te gustaría en algún momento poder pelear con Canelo Álvarez en la división de las 68 libras. ¿Y qué opinaste de lo que fue la pelea del sábado contra Bivol, en la que perdió contra el ruso en la división de 65 libras?
Sí. No, yo pienso lo que siempre he dicho. Canelo es un excelente boxeador. Tiene mi respeto tanto como boxeador que como ser humano, ¿sabes? Fuera de ring es super nice. Tuve la oportunidad de conocerlo. Pero simplemente lo que pasó fue lo siguiente, lo mismo que yo dije que iba a pasar. Un boxeador que se le moviera, un boxeador que fuera fuerte, un boxeador que trabajara dentro y fuera, le iba a hacer la pelea más difícil a Canelo, ¿me entiendes? Y en este caso fue Vigor. Y fue exactamente lo que estaba diciendo hace mucho tiempo.
Canelo is an excellent fighter and an outstanding person. I've gotten the chance to meet him, and I think that he is absolutely awesome. But as far as the fight goes, I think that everything happened the way I said that it was going to happen, where Bivol is someone that is versatile and had mobility, and that mobility gave Canelo a lot of trouble because Bivol was able to get in and out whenever he wanted, and Canelo never really figured that out. And then you saw the result of what happened at the end of the fight.
Thank you, guys.
The next question will come from Maxwell Fuller from KFAN. Maxwell, if you can please unmute yourself.
Hey, my first question is for David. David, obviously you're from Cuba, and I was just wondering, what was your reaction to finding out that Cuba is finally allowing boxers to fight professionally again?
Tu reacción, David, a que en Cuba legalizaron o permiten que ahora se pelee de forma profesional en la isla.
Like, eso, mi reacción es esa, siempre que positiva, ¿no? Porque es una oportunidad más que le estamos dando a los boxeadores cubanos, que lamentablemente no tenemos esa posibilidad como otros boxeadores que, ¿sabes? De todos los países que pueden, por ejemplo, de su propio país, ser boxeadores profesionales. ¿Sabes? Nosotros tenemos que, desgraciadamente, abandonar el país, abandonar nuestra familia, dejarlo todo atrás para poder cumplir un sueño, sin saber cuándo puedo volver. Como mi ejemplo, llevo 4 años sin ver a mi familia, el 4 de junio cumplo 4 años sin ver a mi familia, so, es algo bien difícil. Estoy súper contento con eso que están haciendo, siempre y cuando no hagan lo mismo que hicieron el año pasado cuando Cuba-México, so, solamente con eso.
¿Qué pasó el año? No entendí lo del año pasado. ¿Qué pasó el año pasado?
No, que habían dicho que iba a ser como profesionales, pero solamente fue literalmente un tope Cuba-México, so, no fue tan profesional como exactamente dice, ¿me entiendes? So, no pueden venir a los Estados Unidos a pelear aquí, so, solamente lo hacen en México. Sería un ejemplo, el estado de Cuba sería su manejador y México su promotor, ¿me entiendes? So, no tiene... Es profesional, pero no profesional de todo.
Okay, so this measure by Cuba to allow professional boxing, I think that it opens a lot of doors for Cuban fighters who had those doors closed before, and maybe they couldn't have the opportunities that they deserve. Look at my case, where I had to leave my family behind, I had to leave my country behind, all in order to pursue a dream. On June 4th, it's going to be the 4th anniversary of me not being able to see my family. So whatever makes the path easier and more convenient for Cuban fighters to pursue their dreams, I'm all for it. Now, what I don't want to see happen is something like last year, to where, you know, they thought that they were going to make pro boxing legal, and then it was kind of like a halfway thing, and then it was only semi-pro. As long as it's legit and professional boxing is truly allowed there, then that only makes me happy.
Like you said, it's been 4 years, which is kind of amazing that it's been that long since then. And you've kind of made Minneapolis your adopted home. You've fought here plenty of times. I'm a local guy here in Minneapolis. I like seeing you over at the Armory. It's pretty awesome. But is there anywhere in the world that you haven't got a chance to fight that you'd like to fight?
Una ciudad del mundo en la que todavía no hayas peleado y te encantaría pelear.
Damn, like, I don't know, man. Por mí, como si peleó un puente.
¿En dónde?
No, como si peleó un puente, like, I don't care. O sea, así. Pero un lugar que sí me gustaría pelear sería en Grecia.
Atenas.
Ajá, sí, en Grecia, Atenas, ajá, exacto.
Okay, look, if I have to fight under a bridge, I'll do it. I don't care. I don't care where I have to go. I love to fight. But if you ask me which country and which city I would like to fight in, I would say Athens, Greece. That would be on my bucket list.
Wow, man, that would be pretty sweet. One last question for David. What are some weaknesses in Kalvin's game that you think you can take advantage of?
¿Qué limitaciones o debilidades de Kalvin crees que tú vas a poder aprovechar durante la pelea?
No, la verdad es que no le veo no le veo ninguna limitación y tampoco ninguna debilidad. Lo veo como un excelente boxeador y simplemente voy a salir a divertirme, que es lo que siempre hago desde el ring.
I don't really see any truly evident limitations or weaknesses on Kalvin's part. He's a quality fighter, and all I'm gonna do is go out there and have fun and do my job. The rest is up to June, or what happens on June 4th.
Okay. The next question comes from Cesar Seda from America TV. Cesar, if you can please unmute yourself.
Buenas tardes, César Sea, Decisión Dividida, América TV, Puerto Rico. Tengo una pregunta para ambos. I got a question for both. I'm going to start with Kalvin first. Kalvin, this is a tough fight for you, but it's a guy that just got a few fights as a pro, right? And you as a pro, you've been always in the look like you've been up and down in weight. What's been going on? You have to go 175. You started at 160. All the way, it's been a trouble with the weight, or it's just been what the fights that appear to you?
Yeah. So when I first turned pro back in 2016, I was fighting an amateur at 165 my whole career, and so the most logical choice, like when you turn pro, you go to 160. Now I realized how hard 160 was. Those extra 5 pounds was. And so maybe around fight 8 or 9, we decided to go up to 168. That way I can do some more strength training. I can have a better weight cut. And we've been there ever since. The fights you've seen like at the higher weights, it wasn't because of me, it was because my opponents couldn't come in at the 68 mark. So we just met them at those catch weights. But no, 168 is the weight class.
Thank you, Kalvin. Morrell, David, sabemos que te conocemos bastante, hemos seguido tu carrera. David, estuve hablando con Stephen Espinoza allá en Dallas, en el encuentro en Dallas allá de UGAS, y una de las preguntas que se le hicieron fue exactamente el showdown, tú y Benavidez en 168 libras, quizás puede ser en 175, y tú hablaste temprano de de esta experiencia, cuán importante es esta experiencia para ti, pero esa es la pregunta. No es la experiencia, es cuán importante para ti ahora que te están dando esta oportunidad y para el pueblo cubano que te está viendo crecer y te sigue. Y la segunda parte de la pregunta es, ¿cómo te ha ido en tu preparación con Ronnie Shields? Tu primera preparación con Ronnie Shields en Houston, saliendo de tu gran campamento que tenías siempre ahí en tu área. ¿Cómo te ha ido eso y cuán grande es esta oportunidad?
Okay, bueno, let's do this. Un segundo. Vamos a responder la pregunta en 2 partes. Sí. Voy a traducir la primera pregunta y después la respondes, y vamos a traducir la segunda pregunta y la responder. ¿Vale? So there's 2 questions from Cesar here. The first question is going to be how much, well, Steven Espinoza, the president of Showtime, he was talking in Dallas before the fight that we had last month between Spence and Ugas about the potential of Benavidez against Morrell. So the question for Morrell is how big is this opportunity for him? How much does it mean to him in order to achieve the things he wants to achieve in the division? Adelante, David.
No, respondiendo a la primera pregunta, César, fue una gran oportunidad porque tuve una vez más la oportunidad, tú sabes, de ver una gran pelea de cerca, ¿no? De sentir ese calor, esa energía de una gran pelea, de algo que en realidad es, bueno, súper, ¿me entiendes? Más al nivel de los grandes boxeadores que estaban ahí. Y yo digo que es una gran oportunidad porque tuve la oportunidad ya de una vez más de ver a muchos boxeadores face to face y ya como que dejando claro de que ya estoy aquí, ¿me entiendes? Que ya estoy aquí. Y una pelea con Benavidez sería en la 168, sí o sí, ¿me entiendes? Y si quieres subir de peso, pues subimos de peso a la 175 y vamos a pelear eso. No hay ningún tipo de problema con eso. A todo lo contrario, ya estamos pensando ya queremos ya dejarnos, ¿sabes? Como, no excusa, pero como que ya ponerle un stop a todo y ya empezar a pelear ya con los grandes de la división.
There is absolutely nothing better than having a great opportunity and being able to seize it while enjoying the electricity and the warmth of the crowd and being able to fight in the big stages. That's priceless to me, and I wouldn't give that up for anything in the world. So I plan to take advantage of it like no one's business. And then as far as the possible fight with Benavidez, if I do fight him, it will have to be at 168 probably. I mean, if he wants to go up to 175, okay, we can do it. But whenever if that does happen, then no excuses, and we'll be up for the challenge in whatever way, shape, or form it happens. And then the second question for David was, what was his experience with Ronnie Shields, like training in Houston, Texas? Bueno, David, entonces, para la pregunta sobre cómo era la experiencia con Ronnie Shields.
Sí. No, la experiencia ha sido... La otra vez solamente tuve 3 semanas, o no tuve la oportunidad así de trabajar bien. Este viaje ya tuvimos 10 semanas, o fue totalmente diferente. Ha sido una química, tú sabes, súper que positiva, una experiencia, primera experiencia que tengo, o sea, aquí en Houston, lo que es un training camp, súper excelente, gracias a Dios. Y nada, hasta ahora estamos bien, todo bien, la preparación, ya estamos esperando solamente el momento ya de regresar a Minnesota, de acogernos ahí en el local donde tengamos que estar, y ya y esperar la pelea. Ya estamos listos, solamente esperar el momento y ya que lleguemos el día de la pelea, ya estamos ready ya para lo que sea, para que venga.
Morrell, ¿y cuál ha sido la...
No, espera que...
Oh, my bad, I'm sorry.
Espera que trago. So, Ronnie has been as advertised, absolutely amazing. And unlike last time, to where I only got to spend about 3 weeks with him, this time I got to spend 10 weeks with him, and it could not have been better. Outstanding chemistry, an outstanding training camp. It was just everything that I would have expected and more. We did everything that we had to do, and now we're ready to just go to Minnesota when that happens, and we're ready for the fight. We're just dotting the I's and, you know, making sure that everything is set, but we do feel ready now, and everything has just been amazing.
Morrell,
All right, we're gonna go to the next participant. Cesar, thank you. We want to make sure everybody gets to ask the question, if you don't mind. We're gonna go to the next participant here, Ben Thompson, with the Boxing Source. Let's see. Ben, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, excuse me, you said Ben Thompson?
James Bell, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's you. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Cool. Questions for Kalvin and David. First to Kalvin. You were talking about you coming into this fight without much fears, or much pressure since you've already had your loss. But going into that, what was there that you learned in that particular fight outside of, dealing with the injury during the fight that, you could take from this and going into your fight against David Morrell?
I think it's just more confidence, just knowing that we belong there. You know what I mean? It's always this issue of you proving yourself in boxing. There's always this issue of, do I belong with the elite or to the next level? And headlining the Showbox card back in July of last year, it showed everybody that we had the skills, even with the injury, that we still had the skills to hang in there and prove our worth and prove ourselves to the rest of the world. That's all boxing is about, is showing what you already know to the rest of the world. So that's what we're taking to the next fight, just that confidence, knowing we're supposed to be there.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. We're gonna, Castro, I'm gonna throw it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Flo. I appreciate it. And thank you, David. Thank you, Kalvin. And certainly looking forward to you guys getting it on June 4th. Let's get to the main event. Now we get to the main event. And folks,